Ladies and gentle gamers, you wanted it, you asked for it, and when I mean by you guys, I mean I got one guy. So for that one guy, here's that video. A couple of weeks ago on my main channel, I made top 16 in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel tournament. I did a little bit of a deck profile and I asked, hey, you guys want me to do a combo video on how I do my combos for the deck? And this is probably going to be where I start doing my Master Duel content, to be honest, because I love playing Master Duel. I love playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. But unfortunately, TCG is very expensive, so I can't play TCG, but I can play Master Duel because I am free to play. But if you guys happen to come across this channel, this is my Master Duel channel, and my main channel is going to be over here, over there, upper right, whatever. The main focus on the channel is playing Dkayed, so I do free to play guides for that. And I also do Should You Summon videos as well. That's enough for the main channel. We're gonna stop yapping and I'm gonna show you guys my combos, what I do with this variant. There's a deck profile if you guys want to see what cards that I'm running. It's still the same cards. I didn't change anything. I just took out Alps, so it's 41. So in that deck profile, I said that I could play through hand traps. The most common hand traps that you're going to be able to be playing through is both Imperm and Ash. That's if you open Toy Box with a White Forest card that is not Silvy. Okay, with the power of editing, we are on a new hand because I messed up the one card combo and I messed up my introduction for the one card combo. We're pretending that is the only playable card that we have in our hand. Just ignore everything else. Unfortunately, this one card combo is going to take 2 spell cards in your hand. This is why I said I like Toy Box more, because if Silvy resolves with Toy Box, you're essentially just going full combo. You're able to use the Toy Box cards as spell card cost, but we're going to pretend that we don't have that. We're just going to use 2 random spell cards in our hand. It's going to be Crossout and Woes. We're not going to reset Woes because we're just going to pretend it's a random spell card. So I'm going to hit no on the prompt. So we're going to normal summon Silvy. We're going to add Tails to the hand. We're going to activate Tails because we're going to need to get Little White in the hand. I call her Little White, but she's Elzette. Activate Elzette's effect. We're going to get rid of Crossout. You don't want to do that unless you have to. I don't recommend you getting rid of Crossout because that helps insulate your play. For the sake of the combo, we're going to get rid of Crossout. Now we get the new Elzette, corrupted Elzette, whatever you want to call her. Then now we're going to summon Rusia, so we're going to use these as material, Silvy and Azlette. Celia, get to the field. I think I pronounced that wrong. Who cares? Yeah. Now we're going to throw away Woes, and then we're just going to pretend that Woes is just a random spell card or a trap card, whatever. We're not going to say yes to that. Now we activate new Elzette's effect to special summon herself from the hand to the field, and then now we just go wombo combo here, and then we just do this. We're going to summon Diabelle and attack with or defense, whatever you want to do. First turn, whatever. And at this point, you want to chain your Elzette and you want to chain your Diabelle. Also, I forgot to say this in the intro. This is just going to be the basic one card combo for any Silvy. You don't have to do it my way. It's just the way I built my deck. So we're going to re-add Tails. Tails is just going to be used as fodder. So you just need to bring any spell card that you're going to use as fodder, or you're going to use as follow-up that you need. Now we're going to add Deception to the hand. There's a reason why I added Astellar to the hand. I should have said that. In this one card Silvy combo, you want to search the original Elzette, Little White, and then you want to search for new Elzette, and then you want to search for Astellar after that. Now we're going to play Deception, and then with Deception, we're going to activate Deception on the field. We're going to tribute Astellar from the hand, and then we're going to add Hollowed Azamina. Then we activate Hollowed Azamina. Then we are going to get Roselago. So we're going to summon Roselago, send Deception, play in whatever position because it's turn 1, and we are good at the game because there are no hand traps. So we're going to activate Roselago's effect. Then you're going to add Wanted to the hand. And then at this point, this is where a lot of one card combos can pivot depending on who is playing the deck and how they build the deck. So at this point, what I like to do is I like to activate Silvy's effect to summon herself by sending a White Forest Synchro monster from the field or graveyard to the extra deck. So that's why we have Roselia still in the graveyard. We're going to bounce back Roselia, summon Silvy, and then from here, if they didn't nib you yet, we're going to use both Silvy and Roselago to summon Baron de Fleur of the White Forest. So we summon Baron. Now we have our Omni Negate. Mind you, this one card combo is very greedy. This deck doesn't really respect Nib at all. So we summon Baron Diffler of the White Forest. And then now we want to activate Hollowed Azamina's effect in the graveyard. And you want to reset Rossellego, put Rossellego back to the hand so we could get Hollowed in the hand again. Now you want to activate Hollowed again, and then you want to chain Wanted. You make sure you chain Wanted. Always chain Wanted. So we're gonna add the Elzelle to the hand, and we're going to summon Ilya Sylvia. So Ilya Sylvia, now you have 2 negates. We're gonna throw away Wanted to the graveyard. Sylvia hits the field. This is where it gets kind of dicey depending on your hand. And let's say the spell trap that you added from your graveyard to your hand when you summon Diabel is very important and you need to use it. This is where you use the Wanted in your graveyard. So you could put the Deception back in your deck and you could draw 1 card, so you could use that for your discard fodder. We're just going to use Tails because why not? So we're going to activate Diabel Star. We're going to pitch Tails of the White Forest. Like I said, we're pretending that our hand is really bad and Sylvie is the only card in our hand. So we're going to summon Diabel Star. And then we're going to activate Diabel Star. So Diabel Star is going to search for your sinful spoils of the White Forest. We're going to set it wherever. It doesn't really matter. And then at this point, you're going to use Wanted. This is where you actually use Wanted. Well, this is where I use Wanted. I'm thinning out the deck as much as possible so I could see whatever hand trap that I have in my deck. Hopefully we have a hand trap. Well, we already have Maxi in the hand, but hopefully we have a hand trap. No, we drew into a Sylvie because I'm bad at the game. This is what a 1-card Sylvie can do. So we have a Book of Eclipse. We have 2 Omni Negates. Then we have Diabel Star. What we can do is that once we use Baron's Negate, what you can do is you could use Baron as material for Sinful Spoils of the White Forest, so you could summon Guardian Chimera. And you could use Diabel Star for material if you have a monster in the hand. I guess top decking that Sylvie is pretty good because we're able to use her for the materials for Guardian Chimera. Or if you want spot removal, you could Formula Synchron off of Diabel's effect, and then you could go right into Chaos Angel for that spot removal. That is for grind game purposes. I don't really summon Chaos Angel. It's a flex spot option. You can use it. I would say run Chaos Angel because you can make it, but that's up to you at the end of the day. But this is what you get on a 1-card Sylvie. And that's assuming that your 1-card Sylvie goes through and your opponent is not playing any hand traps, and then you just go full wombo combo. Waboom, 2-card combo time. This 2-card combo can play through Imperm. Unfortunately, it cannot play through Ash. We're going to pretend that the only 2 cards in our hand that we have are Elzette and Toy Box. And I'll be telling you guys where the Imperm spot will happen and how you could play through it. So we're going to activate Toy Box, and like I said, it could be Toy Soldier, but if it's Toy Tank, then you're kind of limited, but it is what it is. So we're going to pretend that it is either Toy Box or Toy Soldier, and then we're going to set up both Toy Soldier and Toy Tank. And now at this point, we're going to use Elzette's effect to pitch Toy Soldier, and then at this point, you're going to summon Toy Soldier. Then Toy Soldier summons and attack or defense. It doesn't really matter for you because you're going first. But I mean, if you want to play around Lightning Storm, hey, do that. And this is the board state where Imperm can be used, and that's if your opponent knows what the toy cards do. If they Imperm here, they probably know because they probably played White Forest when it first launched on Macedul. We're just going to go with the assumption that they do not know what the toy box cards do. And let's just go with the assumption that we did not open with Toy Box, we opened with Toy Soldier. So we're going to add a Toy Box to the hand. And then we're going to normal summon Sylvie. Now, since we're going to be playing through Imperm, we're just going to pretend that Sylvie gets Impermed here and we aren't able to draw tails, so we're just going to say no. Then if you do get Imperm on your Sylvie, you're still able to go through your 1-card combo after playing Toy Box and then setting Toy Tank, the one that you add from Toy Soldier. That's if you don't have Toy Box previously on the field. Boom, congratulations, you played through Imperm with this deck. And if I previously covered a combo, I'm going to fast forward it to the point in a combo where there's another option you could go through, or to the end of the combo. That's if you guys already seen the option. So I'll be running through the 1-card combo, and I'll be resuming the video at normal speed if there is a different option for you guys to go into. So after summoning Roselia, this is what I do. That's if I open Toy Box or Toy Soldier. So we're going to activate Roselia's effect, and then we're going to pitch the Toy Box on the field. And then we're going to add the corrupted Elzette. And we're going to continue the combo from here. We're going to bring it back to normal speed here because this is the fun part of Toy Box. Toy Box is a soft once per turn. So with that being said, let's activate Deception here. So with Deception, we're able to tribute any monster from our hand and field. And we could use that to tribute Toy Soldier on the field. So let's do just that. And that's because we weren't able to get Tails, so we could add Astellar to the hand. So we're going to be using Toy Soldier on the field. Now, at this point of the combo, since we still have Toy Tank on the field, we can send it to the graveyard for cost to summon Diabellstar. So we're going to do just that. We're going to throw away Toy Tank into the graveyard so we can summon Diabellstar. And then once Toy Tank hits the graveyard, you're able to use his effect. It doesn't really matter what you chain here, so you could just do Diabellstar first. And you could just use Toy Tank. It doesn't really matter what you do here. I mean, maybe you want to play around Ghost Bell. And then now we're going to summon Toy Tank to the field, and we're going to set Sinful Spoils of the White Forest to the hand. Well, not to the hand, to the back row. I do not know where my hand and my back row is, but this is the combo if you get Impermed on Silvy. If you get Impermed on Toy Soldier is going to be the extra monster on the field. It's essentially the 1-card combo, but you just have Toy Soldier on the field, so you could have it as fusion fodder for Sinful Spores to go into Guardian Chimera. However, you're going to need to get a monster in the hand for Guardian Chimera to actually be activatable or summonable. Our first interaction is going to have to be throwing out Sylvia. So we could summon our tuner with Diabell, so we could add our Elzette, our little white, back to the hand, so Guardian Chimera is live because we need a monster in the hand to fusion summon into it. So Toy Tank can be used as an extra body on the field instead of using Baronne de Fleur of the White Forest as fusion fodder. You can go on to SP Little Knight here, but I think the Guardian Chimera play is stronger, and we are going to play Toy Box in the back row, and then we're going to activate its effect because it's a soft once per turn and not a hard once per turn. And we're going to reset Toy Soldier to the back row. And we're not going to set another card, but we will draw one. So let's see what we draw. And we're going to put back Deception to the bottom of the deck, and we're going to add Fuelos, which is terrible. This is what the end board is looking like, just with 2 cards in the hand, which is Elzette, Toy Box, or Toy Tank. So another 2-card combo, or the second card combo, if you do happen to open Astellar and Toy Box. But with this 2-card combo, you're able to play through a Disruption, which is Ash Blossom or Imperm on Astellar. Like the other combos, we're going to have to emulate our opponent playing the Interruptions, and we're going to pretend whatever we summon with Astellar is not on the field. Activate Toy Box first. And then we're going to play Toy Soldier and Toy Tank in the back row from the deck. Hopefully it's in the deck and not in your hands, guys. So we're going to normal summon Astellar. So here we could play through either Imperm or Ash. We're going to emulate that right now. We're going to activate Astellar's effect. We're going to throw away Toy Soldier to summon Silvy. We're not going to activate Sylvy's effect here. We will activate Toy Soldier's effect here, though. So we play Toy Soldier, and here we're going to activate Toy Soldier's effect. And we are going to add Rousseau to the hand because we have Toy Box on the field. Unfortunately, if you open up Toy Soldier, you will be adding Toy Box to the hand instead of Rusia because you need Toy Box in the back row to add a light level 4 to your hand. But you can still play SP Little Knight and set Toy Tank in the back row. It's laughable because what kind of endboard is that? But you have 2 disruptions through SP Little Knight and through Toy Box because people don't read Toy Box effect. It's the first line of text, that first paragraph. Nobody reads Toy Box's effect. But since you add Rusia to the hand, you're able to special summon her to the field since you have Astellar on the field. And it's essentially the 1-card combo once again. We're going to be ignoring the Silvy on the field. And at this point, you can draw one with Rusia, but I'd rather keep the Toy Tank and the Toy Box for our main combo. So there's that. Since we used Astellar, we could special summon Astellar because we sent a spell trap to the graveyard. So we could special summon Astellar from the graveyard, and we could actually use Astellar or Toy Soldier for tribute fodder when we add Deception to the hand and play it on the field. But since we have both Wanted Seeker and Hollowed Azamina in the hand, we could kind of skip that step. But that's what I would do, either tribute Astellar or Toy Soldier to add Hollowed Azamina. So I just clicked through and I used Rosella to add the effect because I'm an idiot. But earlier, remember, I said we're going to pretend that Silvy isn't there. And at this point, we would activate Rusia in the graveyard to special summon herself by summoning Rosella back to the extra deck. So at this point, pretend that Silvy is Rusia at this point. So we're still going to summon Baron de Fleur of the White Forest. And here, for the sake of space, we're just going to reset Toy Soldier to the back row with Toy Box's effect. And then we are going to just continue the combo. And with that, we're essentially at the same board, playing through Imperm Ash on Astellar. But with the Astellar combo, you won't have Elzette set up in the graveyard, the OG Elzette, in the graveyard when you use the Abel's effect to summon a tuner from the extra deck. And like I said in the last combo, you're going to need a monster in the hand so you could summon your Guardian Chimera. So a Sinful Spoils of the White Forest is live. So hopefully off that Deception draw, and when I mean hopefully, I mean you will because you're way better at the game than I am, you'll add a monster to the hand. Or you either add Maxi. Whatever it is. But Rujo, you told me you could play through multiple hand traps. I only seen you play through one hand trap. And to you, dear viewer, you are right. But with this hand, you're able to play through 2 hand traps. You're able to play through both Imperm and Ash. So let's just go through what I mean. So we're going to set up Toy Box first, right? So like I said in the previous combos, you're going to set both Toy Soldier and Toy Tank in the back row, right? And to emulate our opponent imperming and ashing us, we will pretend Elzette is not on the field, and whatever card we draw off of Elzette is not in our hand. Let's do just that. Special summon Toy Soldier from the graveyard. So we're just going to add whatever to the hand. Now, I said whatever, but just to get all the names in rotation, we'll just add Rusia to the hand. We're going to normal summon Silvy, and then we're going to pretend that... So we're going to get Impermed here. Get Impermed here, 2 hand traps, right? Well, since you added Rusia to the hand, you're able to use Rusia's effect to special summon herself since you have Silvy in the hand. Well, Silvy on the field. And then now we are going to send our Toy Tank from the back row. And we're going to draw 1. Oh, cool. We draw into Toy Tank. but we're going to activate Toy Tank's effect, right? Now, this is where you can use Toy Tank's effect. Is that you could tribute summon itself to summon one level 6 or lower monster from the hand. And if you control a toy box, you can special summon one level 6 or lower from the graveyard. Since you got Ash on Elzette with Toy Tank, you're able to tribute itself to summon Elzette to the field, so you can go into full combo. We're going to pretend that Toy Tank is off the field and Elzette's on the field now. And we're just gonna go full combo. So here for deception, you could either do Toy Soldier or Rusier. Doesn't really matter which one you use. But we're just going to put Rusier in the graveyard so we have that extra name. So we could just bounce. But it doesn't really matter. So here, let's just use Toy Box's effect. So we could just reset Toy Soldier once we send it to the graveyard. So we summon via Bellstar. We're going to throw away Toy Soldier. And like I said, we're going to pretend that Toy Tank is not there. Our Sinful Spoils of the White Forest in the back row. And we are going to activate Toy Box's effect again to set up our Toy Tank in the graveyard and our Toy Soldier in the grave. We have both Toy Tank and Toy Soldier. And our draw one is Imperm. Not a bad draw one. You're still able to get to this board through two disruptions, Ash and Imperm. And this is why in my deck profile, why I said I would rather play this engine over the Fiendsmith engine is because Toy Tank and Toy Soldier with Toy Box are spell cards. And let's just say if I had Engraver in the hand, or Lurie, or maybe Track, getting Ash or Imperm, I would have to go into my Fiendsmith combo. Maybe I end on a DDD Wave King, or I end on a Desiree. One Imperm, one Forbidden Droll'd just cooks that. So with this deck list that I'm running, and with that hand that you saw at the beginning of this combo, it gets to the same endboard reliably. If you guys would like to know a little bit more of why I'd rather play this engine over the Fiendsmith engine, please check out that deck profile. So here we go on another 2-card combo. It's going to be a lot shorter because you've seen the 1-card combo endboard, but I wanted to show this variant. So let's just say you get Ash Blossom on your Elzette. Now, let's say if you do get Ash tier and you have an Elzette. Don't worry about the second copy of Elzette because we're just going to be using the one. You pitch Toy Soldier, right? And we get Ash tier, but I have to pretend we get Ash tier and then we just add a random card. So now we get Toy Soldier, summon Toy Soldier, and we're going to add Rusia to the hand instead. And even though your Elzette gets negated on its special summon from the hand, you can still normal summon it. We will normal summon Elzette here. Now we have a White Forest card on the field. Now we just go full combo essentially with normal summoning Elzette and special summoning Rusia from the hand. If you made it this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe. But if you also made it this far in the video, you've seen that we could go full combo just on this board setup. So let's say if your opponent doesn't open any hand traps and you have this hand. Well, I will show you right here. And there you go. If you're uninterrupted with Astellar and Toy Box, this is the board that you get. We have SP Little Knight there, another form of disruption. We have Diabell Star and Toy Tank there for fusion fodder. We added Rooster to the hand off of Toy Soldier's effect, so we have a monster in hand for Guardian Chimera. So yeah, this is essentially how crazy an uninterrupted Astellar can end up. Now we're back at the deck list. So like I said, I took out Alps. That last combo with the uninterrupted Astellar with the Toy Box, that is the highest ceiling that this deck has. All those monsters and all that setup without hand traps or back row protection. Can't really think of a lot of boards that could play through that with just 6 cards. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like I said in the deck profile, this deck is going to brick because you have way too many spell cards. I've gone on ladder with this deck. I have some replays to show you guys. So if you guys are interested in the replays will be unedited and uncommentated. The replays that I saved, I made sure to save them in specific scenarios, like if I'm going first, if I get hand trapped, or if I'm going second. So there's going to be a little bit of variety in the replays. And the replays that I'm going to show you guys, it is before the Primite cards have been released, but Blue Eyes Primite still has the same weaknesses. It's nothing different besides the Primite cards. Probably the most popular deck you're gonna be playing against is probably Blue Eyes Primite. So with this deck list, you're able to edit it however you want. You could add bestials if you want. If you're playing against Blue Eyes, you're able to hit the cards that you need. So you probably will just drop talents and thrusts and then add bestials. But for my deck, I feel like I'm using talents and thrusts way too often, but that's up to you at the end of the day if you want to revise this list or if you want to make it better in any way. And for my eagle-eyed viewers, I swapped out Apollo for Abyss Dweller. The replays I'm going to show you don't have me summoning Abyss Dweller, to be honest. It's a bit different, but I never really summon either Apollo or Abyss Dweller in these replays, so don't worry about that. That's just for my sake. So in one of the combos that I've showed you earlier where you get Droll'd on Elzette's add effect and Toy Soldier is in the graveyard, you summon Toy Soldier, then you summon Silvy, and then you go into Baguska. Or you could go into Abyss Dweller, depending on what you're playing against. I'm more often going to Baguska because Baguska is just way too powerful outside of the meta decks. So if you're going against a rogue deck, thank you for being here. Y'all have been awesome. If you guys haven't done so already, like, comment, subscribe on the new channel. I will be adding or putting in the cards at the end for my main channel. Give me a subscribe over there. I'm going to be separating my Master Duel content and my Dkayed content on 2 different channels, so I'm not killing myself in the algorithm. So if you guys want to see more Master Duel content, show you more deck profiles or deck variety that I have, because I do play a different amount of decks, there will be replays at the end of this video. They will be unedited and uncommentated. There are some replays that I don't open the greatest, but I work with what I got and I end up getting somewhere. And I'll see you guys again on the next video. But until then, bye 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 bye.